Boneyard After Hours. This is a place of dark creations where nightmares are created and monsters come to life to terrorize one and all. For those of you who do not know me, I'm your vicious host, the mistress of mayhem, Malvolia, the queen of screams. I've been summoned here tonight to give you a sneak peek into the most haunted creature lab and to introduce you to some of its residents. Every dwelling carries the deepest of superstitions, and I do love superstitions. They're just super. One of the most popular ideas is that every dwelling has a ghost. That's right. Every single dwelling has a history assigned to it, to terrify the poor souls within, as if they don't have enough troubles. It is common that the ghosts are of times past, staying behind to haunt the confines of their old dwelling, and the Boneyard is no different. Yes, many horrific creatures have been conjured up in these halls, and some of their spirits still reside within. All of them are my loyal subjects, living to only serve me. Well, not quite living, but you get the idea.
Ah! What the fuck, lady? Get me the fuck out of here!
Oh, like this one. Frankie, oh Frankie, be a dear and fetch mommy a spirit. Frankie? Oh, I'm sorry. Frankenstein's monster? Be a dear and fetch me a spirit. I'm parched. He's so finicky, that one. Frankenstein's monster. I'm gonna have to remember that. Now, where were we? Oh yes, the many monsters and ghouls that reside here at the Boneyard have long since remained hidden, reclusive by nature, unwelcoming to those with warm blood, filled with life. But recently, they've come out of the coffin, as one might say, to show you their hidden treasures and talents. You see, we undead need to stick together to keep ourselves entertained.
No, what the fuck? Get the fuck away from me!
Sorry, I guess I should have been a little more specific. Excuse me? What? It's hard to find good help nowadays, am I right? No, I didn't kill her yet. She's so good for some more torturous fun. I've been asked to show you lucky victims around and to introduce you to some killer dudes. Speaking of which, what are you still doing here?
Hey, baby. I smelled the free snack and decided to stop by for a bite.
Do you mind? I'm in the middle of something.
Ooh.
And just who do you think you are? She's clearly spending the evening with me.
Me? Why, I'm unmundane, baby.
You are. You look much worse in person. The camera must add 100 years. Well, since you're here, would you like to introduce yourself to our guests?
Not yet. You just wait. I got plenty to show all of you. Oh, yeah.
You might want to stop doing that. I don't think it's doing what you want it to do. Don't you have some failed hair metal band to go haunt?
Hey, maybe. But that's not important right now. What is important is that me and my team of undead freaks are ready to wow you with thrills and chills.
Well, why don't you go back to your freaks, and I'll let you know when we're ready for you.
Fine. I guess I'll do that.
Well, you better get going.
Fine. And I'm taking this. Yeah. To go.
That is mine. Some monsters have no manners. Whatever happened to chivalry? Thank you. That's more like it. Is this a Bloody Mary? My favorite. Oh, darling. I know I like virgins, but does this have to be so virgin? Well, that's more like it. Now, let's take a moment and meet the great creators of this dark and twisted world, the Boneyard Crew.
Hi, my name is Larry Bones. I am the founder and co-owner of Boneyard Effects Incorporated. In 1995, we opened our studio doors with a focus on serving the entertainment industry. Over the next 10 years, we did many projects, including film, stage, television, and videos, bringing our dark world to life. In 2006, we were actually brought on to be the head of makeup and monsters for Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. For 11 years, we brought our crazy world to life for them. Although we still continue to focus on film, stage, and video, our focus began to change into the haunted attraction industry. For our first haunted attraction, Into the Black, we created a short horror film that told the story of what you were to expect within our haunted attraction. We had a story to tell. We have many to tell. We welcome you to take a peek into the strange and unusual world of the Boneyard. Now let us meet some of our crew, shall we?
Hi, I'm Cheryl Bones, co-owner of Boneyard Effects Incorporated. I hated it, and if it wasn't for the fact of moving up there, though, I would have never met my wonderful husband, Larry. In 1986, we decided to come down and to California and took him around to all the amusement parks and everything. And then he had a blast and liked the sunshine also. So we went back to Oregon, and there he would dabble with special effects makeup. And so one day at the kitchen table, he asked if I would want to move back to California. I said, hell yes, let's go. So in '93, we moved down here, and he went to the Joe Blasco Makeup School and graduated. Then in 1995 is when we opened Boneyard Effects Incorporated. At the time, I had a full-time job, so I would stop by the shop and check in and see if there was anything I could do. In 2010, Larry and I decided it was time for me to come onto the shop full-time. So at that point, I took over all the day-to-day operations, office, bills, paperwork, everything, so that he could focus on the creative part of everything in the shop. In 2006, we got Halloween Horror Nights, and we started out with a really small crew, and each year the build list would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and so did the crew. At one point, we were up to like 40 people. So it was my job to make sure we had all the supplies, so I took care of all the ordering of the supplies, getting everything that they needed to be able to create everything. I would help out a little bit here and there, but left most of the creative stuff to them. I also took over the FX Faces, which is our line of foam latex prosthetics, and created that in 1998. In 2017, we decided to open our own haunted attraction called Into the Black. We also made a movie for it. So basically the movie, you would watch the movie first and then the haunted attraction would take over from there.
My name is Sierra Skelton, and I am the project manager and co-producer of All Things Boneyard. I started working in haunted attractions in 2009. I was in high school and I started volunteering for a local haunted attraction called Field of Screams. It was in Lake Elsinore, California, and I absolutely fell in love with scare acting and making people cry and being afraid. So from there I stuck with Field of Screams for about 6 years. And in that time, I moved up to scene supervisor, where I was overseeing the different mazes that we had, as well as the actor manager. So I got to do recruiting and training and all the fun stuff overseeing the cast. And then after Field of Screams, I decided I wanted to kind of move on and test the waters in different areas. So I took a job at the 17th Door, which was located in Tustin, California. And I was the head of staff and character development team. I assisted the cast coordinator with training and developing characters. And so that was a really great experience as well. After that, I decided to join the Boneyard, and that's when I took my position as production coordinator at Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios, and I was helping to oversee the hair and makeup department and doing all the scheduling and helping the makeup artists and hair artists. And then that year, we kind of, as a team, discussed possibly leaving and starting our own thing. And it was like 2 a.m. in the Halloween Horror Nights parking lot, and we decided Into the Black would be a thing. And so from there we just started planning and thinking of different cool things and what scared all of us. So Into the Black was born, and that's when we did the Into the Black film, the VR experience, the haunted attraction, the documentary. And then after that, we decided to do Horror World in 2018, and that was awesome too because we brought in the Flesh Yard, which was a different haunted house, and we opened another maze, which was the Psycho Sanitarium, so it was a really spooky, insane asylum, and we partnered with a bunch of vendors as well, so that was really cool for Horror World. And also in that time, I have worked as the White Bat manager for Midsummer Scream, which is an awesome Halloween convention. You guys should all check it out. Yeah, pretty much with Midsummer Scream, I oversee the entire crew that assists guests during the entire event. We have about 250 to 300 white bats that help us out. And then I've done other little projects over the years. I've briefly worked with the Queen Mary, Nightmare Factory, McCamey Manor, that sort of thing.
My name is Susie Hale. I'm a freelance makeup artist and sculptor working in film, TV, print, commercials, music videos, events. From a very young age, I was an artist, long before I even thought about putting makeup on people. I've been drawing and painting since I was probably 4. I grew up and I was born and raised in Indiana, doing normal small town stuff, and I got my degree in commercial art. I moved to Los Angeles, went back to school for makeup, and some years later, I went to this really fun event called Halloween Horror Nights at Universal on a date. And who could have predicted that I would marry that guy at the Psycho House some years later? And it was the one and only wedding that they had there, and we had to be approved by the Hitchcock Society. But that's a story for another day. So when we went to Halloween Horror Nights, it was so much fun. I just really wanted to be part of it. And about 8 months later, I got called in for an interview for an ad I responded to about working in a haunt, and that led me to the Boneyard. And over the years, I've been airbrush department head, I've applied prosthetics, I've been involved with pre-production, sculpting and painting. When they decided to do their own haunt, Into the Black, I got to design and sculpt several demon characters for that haunt and build suits, and then makeup department head the event. I've also sculpted 6 different character faces for their prosthetic line, fxfaces.com, check it out. And I got to do the makeup and costuming for the product shots for the site. And last but not least, we worked on a horror film called A Psycho's Path last year, directed by Rocky Costanzo. They got distribution, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all turned out. It was a great group of people, and we had a great time.
My name is Ariel Whitman, and I'm a professional makeup and effects artist. I've worked on makeup for conventions. I've done some Comic-Con work. I've also teetered with a little bit of sculpting and molding, and I've also done some haunted attractions. I was actually previously a Universal Studios Horror Nights fan, and I actually found out about Boneyard Effects through Horror Nights, and because us fans are kind of crazy and we like to keep up to date with what's going on. And I was at Midsummer and I saw Larry and I thought it was a wonderful opportunity, and I told him I wanted to work with him and it'd be a dream of mine, and I was very lucky to get picked up. I did go to professional makeup school. I graduated in 2016, but I'm also working towards an art degree in community college and hoping to transfer into an art college. Right now, I'm currently working on doing a makeup for Comic-Con, as well as working with Boneyard on whatever comes up for haunted attraction-wise, as well as for the Boneyard YouTube series.
I'm simply parched after watching those delicious morsels grace the screen. Aren't you? Lucky for me, I have an endless supply of delectable drinks. Well, at least a gallon. Excuse me? Excuse me? Well, that's more like it. Do you know what happened to the last creature that crossed me? You are mine now. Even us dark creatures require entertainment to distract us from our dismal existence. Unfortunately for us, tonight in the Boneyard, our entertainment is from one hellish brute you've already had the misfortune of meeting. It sounds as if the creatures are unsettling into their seats. The show must be starting soon. My victims, presenting the Unmundane Show.
The freaks, the geeks, the weirdos, and the malcontents, the thrill seekers, the chill seekers, and those with bad intents. Welcome to my show. Gonna be a hell of a ride. Your fear becomes you. Let me come inside. To me, you see, your delicacy turned on a spit or in a fricassee. On the blood of you, I get drunk. I'll take your life while I bring on the funk. You'll be my sustenance, with you I'll survive. Won't know the difference, cause you won't be alive. Glad to meet you. Gonna fill my cup. Gonna eat you. Gonna eat you up. My name is Unman. Man, Unmundane. Gonna flick you. Gonna melt your brain. My name is Unman. Man, I'm insane. Gonna eat you. Gonna melt your brain. My name is Unman. Man, Unmundane. My name is
Thank you. Thank you. All right, settle. Welcome, kiddies, to the Unmundane Show. I'm your host, Unmundane. But you already knew that because of the whole song thing. Tonight's show, well, we've got a really special one planned for you. And tonight's guest, well, she's been with the sideshow circuit for years and can grow more facial hair than Cousin It. Please welcome the bearded lady herself, Dakota.
Hello, ghosties and ghoulies. My name is Dakota the Bearded Lady, and I'm here to show you why they call me the human cutting board. Now, to do this, I am going to need a volunteer if someone wants to come on up. Perfect, that'll work. All right, now I'm gonna have you do a couple of things for me. The first thing you're going to do, you are going to inspect my cucumber. I want you to make sure that it is indeed real, that it hasn't been tampered with in any way. You say real cucumber?
Real cucumber.
All right. You are going to very carefully run your finger along the edge of this blade. I want you to confirm that it is in fact sharp.
Yeah, that's sharp.
Sharp blade?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I think so.
All right, good, glad to hear it. Now the third thing you're going to do, you are going to, oh, well that's not gonna work. Tell you what, you're gonna hold on with that, and you're gonna hold on to this, and well, this is the point in this act where you get to watch me take my clothes off, so. Thank you. I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take that, and you're gonna run your hand along the inside of my arm. I want you to confirm that there's nothing coating my skin.
No.
No? All right. Now, I'm sure you're probably wondering why I asked you to check that. The way the human cutting board works is I'm gonna take the cucumber and hold it against my arm, and I'm gonna take this razor sharp machete and I'm gonna slice up the cucumber without cutting myself. With one wrong move, with one swing too strong, I could cut through the cucumber, slice into my skin, sever an artery, and bleed out here on stage for your entertainment. But we don't want to watch Dakota die tonight. No. Now what makes this even more dangerous for me to do is the fact that I don't feel pain. If I were to slice into my arm, I wouldn't feel it, which is why I'm going to keep you on stage with me. Afterwards, you're going to be checking my arm. You are going to be looking for any cuts. You're going to be looking for any blood. You are going to be looking for any injuries of any kind. Do you think you can handle that?
I'll do that.
All right, now I'm going to have you take a step back for me, please.
Certainly.
Thank you. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, I'm gonna have you come back on over here. So I probably should have mentioned this before, but I actually really don't like the sight of blood. So you are gonna check my arm, and you're gonna be looking for any cuts, you're gonna be looking for any blood, you are gonna be looking for any injuries of any kind. Now let me just explain where I'm at right now. I can tell that my arm is wet. What I can't tell is if that's cucumber blood or Dakota blood. So I'm gonna look over here, and you're gonna check my arm, and you're gonna let me know what's going on, okay?
All right.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, ready? I'm not ready, so, oh, all right, I'm gonna quit stalling. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
That was delightful. And no blood.
Yeah.
You know, I think some of our monsters were actually a little disappointed there was no blood.
It's too bad for them.
Too bad for them.
Yeah.
But you're a delight. I have some questions. When did you get started in the sideshow business?
So one of my best friends is one of the most talented fire performers in the country. She and I were talking, and she convinced me to grow out my beard. She gave me all of the training that I would need. She, gave me a lot of advice and told me, things that I would need to know to get ahead in this business. And, it just sort of happened from there.
Well, speaking of your beard, when did you first learn that you could actually grow one?
So when I was about 13, I noticed that my facial, my peach fuzz on my face grew a little bit longer than the other girls, and then a little bit darker than the other girls, and then a little bit coarser than the other girls. And at some point I just had to admit to myself, yeah, I can grow a beard.
So I have one final question for you, and it's a little weird.
Okay.
Do you have any children?
No. No, I don't particularly like children.
Really?
Yeah, do you?
Well, funny you should ask. As a matter of fact, I have one. Oh, Johnny!
I really don't.
This is my boy, little Johnny. He's only 6 months old. Ate his way right out of his mother.
Cute kid?
Isn't he, though? Like a chip off the old block. I mean, look at those little nubbies.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Johnny, why don't you show Dakota your special game? Oh, Dakota, you're going to love this.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. No, Johnny. Go for the neck, just like Daddy told you. Oh, God. Ow. Oh, God. Anyway, that's all the time we have for the Unmundane Show. I am your host, Unmundane. And until next time, remember, stay spooky. Hey, leave some for me.
Drained already? I thought I could get one more cup out of you. Well, what can you do? Have you two met? Frankenstein's monster meets zombie. Zombie, Frankenstein's monster. Please remove the body. She is finished. What? No! I don't have a drinking problem. She has a blood problem. Now take her away. And next time, bring me somebody a little less pale. No, wait a minute. Now this will be good for something. They say diamonds are a ghoul's best friend. This piece reminds me of my delightfully wicked friend, Isabella Black. She was the most diabolical dame I've ever met. Oh, the seances we used to throw back in the day. Let me tell you, my sweet, sweet victims, 1866 was the year to die for. That was the same year that Isabella and her family became so satanic that they unleashed hell into their home. Surrounding townfolk started disappearing into the Black House, causing quite a stir, and an urban legend was soon created around the family. Their legacy lives on, terrifying mortals everywhere. They even made a movie about it. Can you believe that? And now they're working on the sequel. My next guest has a cameo role in the film. Now, you may know of her. She portrayed the demon Pazuzu in the haunting horror film The Exorcist. Please welcome Eileen Dietz.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the Boneyard. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So I have a couple questions for you. Okay, are you ready for them?
I am.
I received a huge biography about you. You have had so much history in the arts. And you started off on stage, live theater, and then moved into film. Which do you prefer? Do you like one over the other?
Actually, acting is acting. To give you a serious answer, acting is acting, whether you're on the stage or a sitcom or a film. Acting is still acting. It's just a question of, in the theater, you're bigger.
Do you feed off of a live live audience, or to you they're just completely two different?
I think you do feed off it, but I think also on sets a lot of the time you feed off of the crew and the people who are working there, you know. But it's still basically
one-on-one.
One-on-one.
focus.
So I'm going to jump a couple questions and ask you this one. What was your favorite role to play to date? Now, was it that one that you just told us about?
I mean, I always think about it. I played one of the Manson girls in Helter Skelter, and I loved that. I mean, I just loved it. There were times that we really felt like we were members of the gang, sitting around a fireplace and singing Manson songs. I really loved that. And I was on General Hospital playing a character in a mental hospital. And I loved that because people in the show used to come up to me. They go, "God, you got the best part."
I was going to say,
I know.
It sounds like you get like these really complex, very sophisticated roles. Do you ever play like Jane next door?
What's complex and sophisticated about it?
Well, playing somebody that's in.
Oh, she
in
wanted
the
to be
same
17 and carried a doll around with her head because she didn't want to grow up because she felt like she was responsible for killing her best friend. So she decided not to grow up. So she carried a doll around that had a gun in it. It was a great character. And it was when General Hospital was really popular. So I love that. I shot a Happy Days. I love that. I mean, seriously, I just loved everything that I shoot.
Nice.
Ask me how I pick a role.
I was going to say, what attracts you to a certain script? Is it the character?
Well, number
is it
one
the
is they're
story?
paying you a shitload of money.
Well, of course.
But I still won't shoot anything that goes against my political or ethical beliefs.
Okay.
I will not do that, even if it's a shitload of money.
Uh-huh.
But then it's really the script, and if it's something that I really like, and it's not, you know, a lot of people do horror scripts now, and they think that all they have to do is pull people's arms and legs and blood and guts, and I really
There's no
won't do
story.
that. But
Yeah.
it has to have a plot. It has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
And so that's it. If it's a role that I'm just dying for, I gotta do it. Or for a friend, which is the hardest. That's not. I like to work with friends. So that's usually how I really decide on a project.
Excellent.
Well, my victims, how did you like that? Was it scary enough for you? I found it simply frightening. Well, it looks as if another night has come and gone. My, how time flies when you're dead. As the day breaks, my monsters rest, which means the night has come to an end. I hope you had a terrible time with me. And remember, not all things that lurk in the dark are as friendly as us. I am your Queen of Screams, Mel Woolley. Until next time, pleasant nightmares.